Hey, what up, everybody? We in this bitch. Give me 1 second. That was one of the newest songs we're fucking with right there. That is Jump. Let's get this bitch. Let's get everybody in a couple minutes to get themselves comfortable. A little quick 30. Yeah. All right, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're just doing a quick hello real quick. Give everybody a couple minutes to get themselves situated as well. Getting our guest, Junior, mine and Queen Kellz' son, for continuing our series, Conversations with the Youth. They don't have to be impactful. We could be having fun, whatever the topic, wherever it takes us. But we seem to have great interaction when we do that between, I think they're good shows. So with that being said, guys, let's just keep this bitch moving. We're going to drop the newest intro. I just dropped this song last night. Check it out if you can. Casualties, new intro, Murph at 420. Music, news, and live chat for your Friday ride home. theDirtyKenzo Productions. Let's go. Casualties. Drop them fires if you're fucking with us. Drop them fires. I see them day one. Let's go. It's Friday. You ain't got shit to do. We getting fucking blazed. Let's go. Cringe police is a friendly. Do not shoot. Cringe police is a friendly. Let's go.
I want to see a fucking circle pit, bitch. Circle pit in this motherfucker. Here we go.
Hey, all right, what's up, everybody? That is the newest song, the newest intro for the show, Casualties. Appreciate all the love I was seeing in the chat. Appreciate all that. Let's get this started here. We do have our guest on deck. Guys, this is Murph at 420, music news and live chat for your Friday ride home. I am your humble host, Murph, the Dirty Kenzo, coming to you live from Central PA, originally a Philadelphia native, but we rocking out about 100 miles away. I've been told I was in witness protection. I didn't understand why 100 miles seemed far enough. But at last, we are here, guys. I want to salute everybody, as we do in the beginning of every show. We give a hello to everybody. We want everyone to feel as welcome. The songs you heard in the beginning, once again, were Jump, which is available for sale, and then Casualties, the newest intro song for Murph at 420. We usually do, Murph at 420 did start as a talk show. And we had a couple good runs, I believe. But when I brought it back after a hiatus, I wanted it to be a music show where we could talk if we wanted, but we played music, you know what I mean? So make sure you guys tune in Fridays for that. If you're into, you know, nice music for your drive home, we're going to have a little talking tonight, though. Make sure you guys are definitely checking out Cooking with Kellz. We're on there Thursday nights. We made some cookie squares last night, these cluster cookies. They are fucking amazing with ice cream. Cooking with Kellz, YouTube, Thursday, 7. Salute to the sponsors of the channel, ATG TV, my brother and podcast partner, ATG TV, ATG Barn. Two Bad Opinions comes on Saturday nights, 9:30. That's when we meld together, if you will. It's on one of our channels until we make the move over, but definitely sub up to Barn. Also to the brother Rich Martinez, The Cave, another personal sponsor to the brand, as well as Pamela J. And a big salute to our sponsors who are Patreon members. Our sister above the border, Nat. Our sister across the pond in the UK, Haley. Our sister in the on the West Coast, GMA. And of course, Queen Kellz has hers up there. Even though she's partners, it just makes dollars and cents, ladies and gentlemen. So, guys, before we get into anything, I would like to give a quick hello and just give you guys where we're at today, what the show is about. You see the title. Once again, this is Conversation with the Youth #2. We're continuing our series. We had an episode a few months back where my son and Queen Kellz' son, Junior, comes. We conversate. It could be serious. It could be funny. He's a good conversationalist. Anyone that's into gaming, he does have a channel. Queen Kellz did drop the link. My sense of humor, but into gaming, essentially, he's a perfect. Humor's a perfect mix of me and Kellz, I would say. I have a gun to his head while he has a gun to my head while I'm paying each and every one of these compliments. So, hello, how are you, fair sir?
Pretty all right, I guess.
It sounds like the mysterious person who mows our lawn is mowing it. Stay out his way. I left an envelope out there with the tenor. But what's up, everybody? How we doing? Once again, this is Murph at 420. I am your host, Murph, also known as the Hearst. Host Murph, also known as the Dirty Kenzo. I'll tell everybody right now, if you smoking with us, get ready to blaze that shit. Junior is over 18, so this is fully legal in all 50 countries. States, not countries. Fuck it. But anyway, guys, as we said, we're going to get into our hellos real quick. We definitely gave a big salute to our sponsors. We have another little sponsorship drop after the hellos. I know we're way back, so bear with me. All right. So the first comment I'm getting here is Coco Sophie. Salute. We appreciate you. I know there were comments before that. Kellz is saying it here. Yeah, they still I know. I knew there were comments there. Salute to the Queen. Appreciate you, babe. Working hard. Nat, there's our sis above the border. We appreciate you. My boo and my boy. You know that's right, babe. There's Rich Martinez, The Cave. Great music show. Check them out. Frankie fucking Blanco. Frank White, yo, bars on bars. We've been playing a lot of his shit between mine, Barn, and of course the other squatters. So definitely check it out. Check out Frank. He got some shit, man. DSL, welcome in, welcome in. Fucking psychotics. We got some psychotics. Pammy, love you, sis. She said, hey, bro, at the office today, but listening. We appreciate everybody listening. Babe, if you could drop those hashtags. I do see the fires for the music. You guys are fucking awesome. This will take you to the playlist of every song I made. We're up to 60 now. Thank you guys for these compliments here. This is Cheese Curl Poppy's link for gaming. He's an asshole just like his father, so expect the worst. Chase, what's up, bro? Good. I'm glad you made it. Good to see you. Bonehead History, that's a fact, babe. Cheese Curl Poppy's history channel, that's definitely a fact. Too bad opinions. Kellz is dropping any links anyone's going to need. People's 212, what's up? Appreciate you. Ms. Bobby, thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. Old head douche, yo, bastard. Appreciate you. Don't break your hip dancing. Thank you, Lawnmower Man. Tommy motherfucking D. Subscribe to Tommy D, guys. That is the bro. He's been killing it with shorts and uploads. Great lives as well. Tommy D TV. His uploads may be things with his sobriety. It may be just life lessons. It could be, teaching you mechanic things. Definitely worth checking out. Kenny Cutthroat and the Squatters, my squatter family, appreciate you. Subscribe to Kenny. All content creators, if you are wrenched, drop them links. Tommy D, appreciate you for the like and share. Yeah, anyone on YouTube, anyone that possesses any ability to share, please feel free. Cringe Police was Junior. This passes the cringe inspection. Very based. I like that. Thank you, DSL, the Groovy Tunes. I know this part takes a while, guys, but Tom, I didn't really listen to the new Slipknot yet. We will be soon. Probably after this, me and him will listen to it together.
It's an hour long, all of the songs together. It's like 50-something minutes.
Yeah. Hey. Hassan, salute, bro. Jesus is the truth. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you guys showing all the love on the music. Mike from Boston, appreciate you, bro. I almost said Mike FB. That's what it stuttered for. Honda Mommy, good to see you. Ain't seen you in a few days. Hope you're good, you and the family. DJ Science, appreciate you, my brother over the pond. Come on. Whoa. So, Kennedy, salute, bro. Glad you made it in. These comments I'm trying to grab, and it's like fucking scrolling right past. Yo, DSL, I've seen you put other lyrics like this in like troll chat and shit, and I'm dying. That is Voodoo by who the fuck is that? It's right there on the tip of my tongue. The singer's name's Sully. Rock band, hard rock band. They sung in the Scorpion King. They redid Come Together for Justice League.
I don't know who you're talking about.
What the fuck is their name? It's like right there. I could see it. I can visualize it. But yeah, that's lyrics. This song is voodoo. Yo, we appreciate the chat popping. We see y'all. We see y'all. We know it's moving a little fast because it's moving fast for us. Babe, as I said, if you could drop those hashtags real quick. I know most of them. German lady, yeah, you are the youth, of course. But yeah, we're talking with our junior today. He is 19 now. 19. Yeah, so it's not. He's not even really the youth, but he's still the youth to us.
The American youth.
There we go. There's our hashtags. You guys feel free to drop any of these hashtags at any time. Day one's is the community. Kellz calls me the illest beat and song creator because those music you heard in the beginning is by me. She is the Queen She-Wolf. CWK is Cooking with Kellz. Once again, Thursdays, 7 Eastern. We give a not safe for work warning. We smoke, curse, and talk a lot of shit. We give a parental advisory warning. Your child may not be ready for this mind-blowing shit, bruh. Salute to our work warriors in the beginning of, end of, or middle of your shift. We really appreciate you guys rocking out with us for your Friday ride home or just the beginning of your shift, as we said. It could be your Friday breakfast. Like, I'm eating breakfast at 5 p.m., jerk off. Once again, brought to you by DirtyKenzo Productions. We're almost caught up. Hey, boy, I see. Oh, there it goes. Hey, boy, we in here. Come on, Lone Mower guy. Keeping up with Sean and Irene. Make sure you guys are subbing to the brother Shizzy Mac. Kenny Cut, I see you, bro. Tommy's rants are the best. That's a fact, Honda. That is a fact. When Tommy D starts fucking ranting, I tell him he's so unintentionally funny. It's crazy. Mills, salute, bro. Philly content creator. Check out Mills Lane, guys. Kathy Stevens, we appreciate you. Godsmack DSL, yes, it's Godsmack. Thank you. I was hoping you would say it. I see, babe. She's like, I did 4 times. I wasn't down that far. We're catching up, though. We're catching up. Better get out of them curtains, Sophie. Get out of the curtains. All right, guys, before we get started, let me see. We can't go any further, of course, without a quick word. Where are we at here? Where the fuck did it go? Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck is this guy? Can't go anywhere, a show, without first a word from our sponsors.
Start today. I'd like to thank our sponsors. Hello there. Firstly, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Henry Sugmadik. I am a professor of psychology at the most renowned university, DeVry University. You could tell I'm a doctor by this douchey part in my hair and my sweater around my vest with a store-bought coffee of self-privilege. Everything you're about to hear from here on out is fact, not fiction. These testimonials were lie detector tested. It's definitely a fact. And certified by a board of frickin' evil scientists. Here's the testimonials. Thanks. Hello, my name's Frank and I'm from Washington State. And today I'd like to speak to you about the plug. Do you have some money, but you want more? Would you like to double, if not triple, your money? Would you refer to yourself as a go-getter? Then meeting the plug might be right for you. Effects may include, but not be limited to: getting your ass whooped for saying anything stupid, getting your ass whooped for not paying him his money, looking at somebody the wrong way, not giving him his fucking money. If this applies to you, search for the plug today. Kenzo is also brought to you by: you want to rob your mom and fight your dad and forget it even ever happened? Maybe you want to tell a cop that you fucked his old lady, even though you didn't. If any of these apply to you, you might want to try Xanax. Ask your friends if Xanax is right for you today. Not a doctor though, because they don't give them out anymore. That being said,
What up, y'all? Murph, theDirtyKenzo here. I don't know if it's Betty Crocker or just the Spanish language, but the word for bake is horny?
Babe, I think the H is silent in Spanish.
Horny! All right, guys. Obviously, we can't avoid fucking Lawnmower Man. He is going hard. What is doing, Lawnmower guy? Oh, that's the guy with the gimpy leg and the dog.
No wonder,
Little Joe
no
with
wonder
the
he's taking so long.
Little Joe with the gimpy
twice
leg.
as long to mow
Yeah,
a
let's
straight
pick it up, Gimpy. I don't care if you're doing it after cutting the CR. Pick it the fuck up out there. All right, guys, what's up? I am the Dirty Kenzo, aka Murph. Today we are having another episode in our continued series, Conversations with the Youth. I'm a little stoned. I forgot what it was for a second. This is the second entry in this new series. And once again, we have my son, Kell's son. Just call him Junior on here. He once again for gamers, Cheese Curl Poppy on a YouTube, and he also has a history channel, which is very short, funny, animated. If animated expression, which I think funny really sums it up.
As far as saying animated,
not animated, like you don't animate it yourself, but you do add pictures, and it's not. Yeah. It's not flat.
It's basically a slide.
They're short though. I like the shortness to them. I think like a minute. I think like
that's
a minute.
That's why I mostly are putting a lot of them on TikTok, along with some like new shit on TikTok mostly, just because like I feel like their attention span is better for it than for YouTube.
Can I get real quick before we go any further? Can I get real quick thumbs up in the chat if you could hear both of us? I'm pretty sure you can hear my loud ass, but just confirm you guys can hear Junior. It's 444. Someone play that number. Yeah, Chase. Chase says I'm not easily embarrassed. We'll actually put that in the we'll put that on the old docket, because I think that's okay. Cool. Thank you, Sophie. She gave me the thumbs up. I think we're good. That's something I think you naturally feel embarrassment. People naturally you feel it sometimes, but I would say Junior has been very blessed with not feeling like I've seen you be embarrassed once in a while, but very rare as compared to other people where.
Well, no, if I feel like something embarrassing is going to happen, I just like think in my head, this is going to be very embarrassing. So I choose just not to
yeah. It's how much energy you put in it.
But today, actually, since you brought up an embarrassing moment today, might as well just say what happened. It isn't like that embarrassing, but it's more like it just like you see it and you're just like, well, fuck. Because like I had gym today, right, in school. So
he's a senior, everyone. Senior in high school.
So we're at gym.
LFM, my brother.
Because there was a pep rally. We had to go to like the weight room where like the football players or whatever like lift weights, obviously. And obviously, as anywhere that has weightlifting shit, there's like a mirror, long fucking mirror thing, right? And I was close to it using like one of the like machine things. This whatever the fuck this thing it does.
What is that called?
It looks like I'm trying to
fly.
It's a
weight. Yeah. Like.
But I guess it was real fucking cold in there because I walked past the mirror. I just see like I look at him and I like bro my nipples.
Rock ass hard nipples.
I just look at it. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like warm them bitches up real quick.
Blowing some breath on your own nipples, trying to warm them up.
I'm like looking.
He was cutting his shirt.
I'm like looking at the mirror, like, oh yeah, that. And I just look at my gut. I'm like, all right, let's go. I look away from the mirror.
Damn, I'm cutting glass over here. Yeah, I mean, I think as you grow up, I think you get more embarrassed. Once again, guys, if you're smoking with us, blaze them up now. Junior is not smoking though, just for you. I mean, I'm sure he's catching secondhand, but he's not really. He don't really smoke much. Good, smart kid. But I think that embarrassment, it kind of lessens through the years of school. Like you get way more embarrassed kindergarten to second grade.
Honestly, I disagree personally. I would say little kids are the least embarrassed because a little kid.
I think that's
kid will call you like really fucking ugly and then do a cartwheel, some shit. Like they really do not care.
Yeah.
But then they get embarrassed about or scared by the dumbest thing.
But but what I'm saying is, you could be, let's say, second grade is 8 years old. 8 years old, if you shit your pants in school, you're going to be embarrassed.
Either you'll be embarrassed or you're too young to realize that it should be.
I mean, some kids, some kids, like you're saying, at that age, they're not really feeling it like that. Where in high school, you got that awkward chub or the girl you asked out, denies you, things of that. So there are things like that. I've seen. Like my experience was so different though. Like Massbomb was a crazy school, even though it was a trade school, a Votech. One day I'm in the bathroom and I used to sneak to the bathroom and I'm like, I smell weed, and I'm like, someone smoke. Go out in the hallway, it's strong as shit. And I just see 4 guys, 3 of them, they have their football jerseys on. And they're walking. I'm like, yo, are you guys smoking a blunt in school? And they're like, yeah, fuck that. Principal's coming. And the dude flinches at the principal. And the principal flinches and like briskly walks away. And I had the most like secondhand embarrassment ever in my life. I've seen people come back buying fake drugs and buy more. I've had that level of second embarrassment. But that, oh my God, he flinched at the principal. And it was just, I'm like, I said that. I was like walking behind him. I was like, that is the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. But yeah, I think when you're in kindergarten, first, second, third, those things, you know, some things are more embarrassing. But like you said as well, like, not always, because high school, you definitely
take it from a kid take it from me, who I've never been ashamed to admit how many times I've actually shit my pants in school. It's about 3, maybe.
You shit your pants in school last week, right?
3 times, maybe. And like, I think the first one was like first or grade or kindergarten. I don't remember at this point, but all I remember is in first grade after
Salute Marley.
In first grade after shitting my pants. I don't remember feeling embarrassment for shitting myself. I just remember I had to get out of these underwear really quickly.
Yeah, like
it's going to absolutely destroy my ass.
Yeah, it'll be bothered. Pause.
Yeah. The last time I shit my pants, 8th grade, eighth grade, which is a lot more embarrassing.
Well, that was, you were sick though. You had like a stomach.
Yeah, and also I had to run around the school to find an open bathroom.
After a certain age, that should be the only time you do. Like, yo, did you hear John shit his pants? What, was he sick? Nah, he just shit him. John's a fucking murderer. John's a fucking serial killer.
John wants to watch the world burn.
Yeah, John wants to watch the world burn.
I'll take a shit right now.
A-Boy's in the capital of marijuana. He better find some.
There's many capitals of weed.
Tommy D said, damn, poor cheese girl. Yeah, so I think
I feel like pissing your pants is a lot more common as you get older than versus shitting yourself.
I mean,
because I feel like peeing, because like technically it counts as pissing yourself. Like, say if you're like shaking after you get done and you put it back and like a little more leaks up, that technically counts as pissing
listen,
your pants. That happens.
4 drops. It depends on what you're wearing.
I guess.
But 4 drops of piss, like you didn't shake it enough and get 4 drops, is noticeable. People be like, yo, this dude got a little piss spot, you know? Look how high up it is with his little dick. Right under the button.
It's at the belt line. Look at
Yeah. Look, it's up on his t-shirt.
It's by the strings of his sweats.
But
now the strings are damp.
Yeah, man, I think, you know, like I said, junior here, senior year. So, you know, he's coming to the end of the grind of school. And he's always been a logical kid. So, you know, like we do have the discussion.
School's always been a horrible fit for
I was going to say, yeah, school's rough for him because he's always known, like, you know, certain narratives schools might want to push. He's not always agreed with or under, you know. So it's like, yo, why? It's hard to push through when you feel it's pointless. So I always give him mad props for that. Like, this is it. You know, this is the last haul. This is the easy part.
I don't know.
But no. Hassan said urinating on yourself as an adult is not common. Who misled him? No, but I want to say
people is what I was
there is a correlation with adults pissing their pants and alcohol. Because I had an uncle that would get so pissy drunk, and they'd be like, you pissed on the calves, you know, and then
at that point, I feel like he was doing it intentionally. He just used being drunk as his excuse.
Yeah,
he just had a fetish for pissing on furniture.
That's why I think, you know, that's, I don't know, because some people, they see it their whole life. And I know people that, you know, their dad left when they were 8 he was a heroin addict, and then they did it. Then I know people like me, I always seen my friends' parents or family members that were heroin addicts, crackheads, alcoholics, stuff like that. So it always kept me away. I was like, yo.
Well, I mean, wasn't Murph a pothead, and now you kind of
he was always a pothead my whole life. Yeah, but I'm saying I don't see as many negatives, and I never did. That's why I still smoke to this day. But I never, even before I smoked, I knew it was, I didn't know the benefits back then because, of course, I was young. But I did know the downsides weren't as bad as the other shit. Like I said, I seen people with heroin, crack, stuff like that. People really like sell their soul, so to speak. Like there's really not, they won't do. alcohol, people really just embarrass themselves. So that was stuff I was always like, yo, I'm never going to be that alcoholic that's like fighting everybody, then he's crying, then he's like, I don't think that person realizes how much they ruin whatever you're doing for everybody
Not to
else.
mention, if you're going drinking with other people, you just kind of bog everyone else because now they got to make sure you don't like fucking wander into traffic or something.
I had a short friend, right? He was probably like 5 foot tall. I was probably like 20 at the time. He was maybe even like 4'10". We called him Little Jeff because he was little. He came to my house like so zannied up. He was like talking and kept falling asleep. I'm like, yo, bro, you got to split. Yo, bro, you got to split. And he kept falling back out. Wouldn't be. I picked this little motherfucker up, carried him out. He woke up. What are you doing? I'm like, bro, this is embarrassing. Yeah, so the fuck is you dipping out like that? Like, if you can't keep control, you're not in this, you don't go to someone's house. If you want to be oblivious, stay in your fucking bedroom. And that's the problem. People want to be pissy drunk and run here, run there, you know what I'm saying? Everything else. So let's just jump into chat real quick. Just want to make sure we're not missing nothing. Yeah, people pissing on the carpet, that's the only thing I got embarrassed with was I smoked Great White and it was so strong I called the cops and ENT on myself. Damn, Chase.
I want to say it's a little like reasonable.
My dude,
it's a last resort.
My mom's here. Mama.
Hola.
I'd be surprised, Murph. People do a lot of desperate things for alcohol. That's a fact, Tommy. Yeah, no. I've seen some shit myself. One night I'm fucking waiting for the 5 bus on Frankfurt Ave, and a cop car pulls up in front of me. I'm like, okay, what is this? A fucking girl gets out the back. She's not bad looking at all. She looks like a Greek girl, young Greek girl, real cute. She comes up to me and she's like, hey, blah blah blah. I'm with mommy already, so I'm like, I'm taking. She's like, I'll blow you for $10. I'm like, no thanks.
That's outrageous. 8.
Yeah.
$7.50.
So I learned Greek that night. No, I'm kidding. So I tell her no and shit like that. And then she's like, she got mad at me, like pinched my nipple real hard and walked away. I was pissed.
I got mad. Fuck you in Greece?
Yeah, I guess.
You know what? Fuck you too.
Yeah, in Greece, when you turn down a sexual advance, they give you the good old purple.
So no one else can fuck with your nipple.
But I was so like pissed about it, I started yelling at her. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you, lady? Like, you know what I mean? Because I don't even know this girl.
And from that day forth, he swore death upon any.
No, so the cops get out the car, and the driver cop is like, yeah, what the fuck is going on? Like, blah, blah. Cipher salute. But because he just hears it. The passenger cop's like, nah, I just looked in the mirror. He's like, why are you touching him? To the girl. And she's like, fuck you, blah, blah, but they tell her to leave. And the cop's like, yo, she's drunk. And blah, blah, blah. And the cop's like, did she offer you something for $10? I was like, yeah, I told her, I'm married. I'm good. He goes, he's like, that girl's just drunk, dude. She's not even like, you could tell she wasn't on any other drugs. Like it boggled the cop's mind that this girl said that for just booze.
I don't understand anyone feeding that badly for booze.
I've seen people sell their PlayStation for weed.
Drugs make sense, but booze, bro. No. I've never seen that happen. Very rarely have I seen that.
If I would have came home one night from work and your mom was like, "You need to see your son," and I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "He sold his PlayStation," and I'm like, I mean, our relationship's different. So you have to count it as if you weren't who you are, of course. And then I come to you and you're like, oh, I sold it because I wanted to get some weed. I would beat your fucking head in. But you,
because that PlayStation is worth a lot.
So much.
How much weed I could actually, if I could just get the raw cash for it.
Exactly. And
get more out of it.
Selling that, when I heard about that happening, and I'm like, yo, that's with way more extreme drugs.
PS4s now, obviously, you would have to sell it cheaper than like what Walmart would be. Actually get someone to buy it, but like they're cheap now because the PS5s or whatever. But you can still get like 250.
Well, I think at the time it was a PS3
it's used too, so.
or 2. This was back in the day. But nonetheless, those systems were still expensive.
Exactly, they've always been.
You're trading a $200 system for $40 worth of weed.
Exactly, he gypped himself out.
He was young too, so he didn't realize he probably
could have gotten a lot more weed if he just wanted.
But that's what kids do. I know kids that fucking 15 years old were like serial fucking burglars, breaking into people's houses, kicking their doors
sloppily at that.
doing wild shit. You're like, what are you fucking doing? You know what I mean? You're 16. Oh, well, they'll only put me in juvie. Yo, that's a sick way to think, bro. I know people that never got to live from 15 to 18. They weren't around. They came back when we were all 18.
Well, I mean, hey, they got to have it. They're supporting it, I guess. Really fucked up way to do it, but they're handling it.
But yeah, I was like, when I heard about that, I'm like, this. They were like, he sold it for his PlayStation so he could get weed. I was like, bro, unless you're getting a pound, no.
Bro, that weed dealer, he was like, what a fucking idiot.
Yeah, what I said that
laughing
too.
all the way to the bank.
And that's
bro.
that's what's happened a lot as well. There used to be class to drug dealers, where a drug dealer would have never, one, sold to a 14-year-old, two, made that exchange knowing that the values are so different.
And not to mention, the drug dealer probably was thinking this kid trying to rip me off. He was probably thinking this shit is probably broken. Who the fuck would give me a whole PlayStation for weed, bro?
When I sold weed, I never sold to anybody who was under 3 years younger than me. Like when I was 18, I sold to 16 and up. When I was 26, I would go like 18, 17, 18. I've never sold to somebody that was like under 17. Weed. Other shit, no, you got to be.
The only time I've ever done anything like that was I remember I sold my one friend like an edible for like $5. He's my age, so.
No, I fucking sold weed for like 10 years.
Well, yeah, obviously. But since we're sharing our stories of selling shit,
I always sold weed as like on the job. Like I worked the job and everyone there smoked and I would supply it. I supply the weed, I supply the, whatever pills the old heads were doing. That's what I always did.
Edibles are wild.
Edibles are
thinking about it. I'm like, wow, why aren't edibles more popular than normal weed itself? It's literally you just have to eat it, and it'll happen over
the
time.
Convenience, and it's not always the same high. When you smoke, you get something to the head. When you eat an edible, you don't always feel it to the head. But edibles have fucked a lot of people up because people don't know. I've seen this happen to people with almost every drug out there. But if you don't know what you can handle, people should half dose it, and they don't. So I would see somebody be like, oh, I'm going to take a perk 10. And I'm like, you ever took them before? And they're like, no. And I'm like, bro, break that in half. You're going to be throwing up. No, I'll be fine. And then they're throwing up because it got them too high. So now they're puking. So you know what I mean? It's like people never took that. You got to half it. So even with an edible, if that edible is 600 milligrams and you're not sure what you're going to be able to handle, you got to break it in half. And if you don't feel it, eat the other half. If you do feel it, you're good. But that happened to a lot of people. They got real fucked up. They got real fucked up because, like Jay said, he smoked something and it made him call the EMT. That's what's happening a lot with edibles. People are taking these edibles and they're fucking gone. You know what I mean? They're sick and they think the world's ending. And Tommy said drug dealers that are doing it for money and clout are nothing more than vile human beings that prey on their community and their own people. See, yeah, I agree, Tommy, but on the same note, I feel like I always blame the system, not, you know what I mean? So when I look at it, I'm like drug dealer, drug addict. Drug addict is a little higher on my tier because that's someone that, has something.
Honestly,
like you said, they're not taking advantage when they're a drug addict. So, but the drug dealer is, a lot of drug dealers I know are like, they had no other choice. Like I had a choice. I didn't have to do it. I chose to do it. It helped me make extra money on the side. And it always made sure I had weed to smoke. So, but I know people that it's like, they were fucking coming out of juvie at 18, getting locked up at 19 and 20, and now they can't get a fucking job.
Me personally, I know it's going to sound like a real, I don't want to call it pessimistic or whatever, but honestly, drug dealers, I don't really see an issue with it. Be honest with you, like legally wise, that's a different story. But personally, I feel like if you're buying drugs, then whether or not your mind is corrupted, it's up to you to buy it, bro. He's not forcing you to buy it. You're choosing to get it off.
We'll get into that in 1 second. Good point. Salute, Wendy. Ma, see you later. I'll give you a call tonight. Make your point again, please, because I did cut you off a little bit.
I was drinking some. I was saying drug dealers, I don't view them as anything other than what a normal person does. To be honest, aside from it being illegal, which I don't really give a fuck.
Well, that's what I want to get into. We'll get into that.
But just because you're dealing drugs, I really don't feel like that really makes you a bad person. Because to be honest, the person you're selling it to, whether or not their like mind is fucked up because of the drugs, they're still making a decision to buy it from you. So all the blame is solely on you.
Yeah, for sure.
And like you said, a lot of people who are selling drugs probably got out of like jail, can't get a legal job.
That's
anyway
just some circumstances. There's some circumstances. Other
even
people,
still.
Yeah, other people, it's just as simple as it's faster money.
And that's all. Honestly, I don't see an issue with it.
Now, my thing, what I wanted to, dive into here, other than the societal effects, people fucked up, someone smoking angel dust and running up the avenue butt ass naked attacking people. That we obviously have to worry about. But outside of that, the control over drugs isn't American. American is the pursuit of happiness. I understand most people are, doing drugs out of sadness as well. But a lot of people smoke weed when they're happy, and it makes them happier. So if you're not coming to it from a damaged place when you're smoking and enjoying it, you're happy. So if that's how you pursue your happy, it's not this government, as America was formed, it's not the government's place to say. So, but like I said, I do know why they would say, we don't want PCP being legal. People could lose their fucking minds, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, other than those societal effects, I don't think anything should be illegal, really.
I remember earlier you said...
I think everything should be taxed.
I remember earlier you said Tommy D rants are funny. Well, I'll get into a little bit of a rant myself here, so maybe I'll give Tommy a run for his money. But when it comes to, honestly... What two adults, right? Obviously, if one of them's a kid, it's different because one's younger and can be taken advantage of in that way. But if both of you are an adult and you're both choosing one to sell it and one to buy it, what's the problem? I don't really see it.
But yeah,
what you choose to spend your money on isn't really an issue. And like you said, even if it's out of sadness, oh, I'm drinking or I'm smoking because breakup or some shit like that, that may be illegal. But then again, you could just sure, that might harm your body, but what about the people who overeat when they're depressed and now they're diabetic and shit like that? And honestly, believe it or not, sugar is just as addicting as cocaine is, but sugar is very legal. You can buy it off a shelf. You can't buy cocaine off the shelves unless you're in Colombia. But
no, Tommy D, that's a fact. Felons do have more opportunities now. That's why I said some people just sell drugs because it's faster money. Hassan, I'm going to put your comment up before I say it. I will say this. This is what I believe. This is Murph, senior here, not even junior. This is just my opinion. I think addiction is both. I think addiction is a choice as well as not a choice. I think it starts with a choice. Because I'm going to give you a hypothetical here. We're at a party together, yourself, me, everybody here. ATG Barn in the place to be. My brother Barn. Whoop, it jumped. My brother Barn, salute. So this is my example I like to give to people, right? We're at a party on a Friday night. Everybody here, right? Somebody lays out some, let's say, Coke. We're all doing Coke, right? Friday night, everyone's doing this Coke party and drinking, having a great time. Saturday night, you guys are the non-addict, right, is able to go, let's go to a fucking movie. Let's go out to dinner. The addict's brain is going, oh my God, what was that last night? More. So yes, I believe addiction starts with a choice. Because honestly, even if we have addictive personalities, we can't be addicted to heroin until we try it. Can't be addicted to crack or Coke or anything until you actually try it, get those receptors hitting your brain. So you may have an addictive personality that just lends itself to other things.
I mean, at the same, it's also kind of like going to a shady car dealership and buying a car that the salesman flat out tells you, yeah, the brakes don't work very well, and then the brakes give out on you. Like, you did this to me. Well, I told you it's dangerous, and you know damn right well that was dangerous. It was kind of on you to buy it. It's the same with drugs. You know damn right well it's dangerous.
Yeah,
you
that's
still
what it is.
to get it.
Yes,
that's not my fault. You chose to get it, bro.
Yeah, no. So I do agree there. I think it starts with the choice. It does start with a choice. No, first off, most of the people I know who did heroin started on Percocet. They started taking Percocet from a doctor, from a toothache, whatever. They were taking perks for a while, boom, boom, boom. They didn't work anymore. So they started taking oxys. Oxys didn't work anymore or got too expensive. Then they moved on to heroin. That's how so many kids I knew that grew up and did that. That's how they moved on to it. So yes, like I said, you have to make an initial choice. Because if I don't decide to do that drug or, you know, whatever the hypothetical calls for, I'm going to be addicted to fucking church, porn, coffee, soda, cigarettes, like the dumb, you know, the lower level addiction, so to speak. So you can't be addicted to crack if you never smoked it. It's like, it just doesn't work that way. So it does take the initial choice, 1000%. But I feel like you lose you don't lose the choice because you're always your human willpower, whatever. But over time, you know, that will to choose lessens. And then you see people that once they're that deathly sick, they go to make that choice. I need. It's not even I want, it's I need. You know what I mean? So I definitely think things start with a choice, but I do know just from my own experience that sometimes we'll do something and my brain will be like, ooh, what was that? Let's do that again. Where everybody else is like, all right, it's time to move on. So then I would have to tell myself to be the move on guy instead of the let's keep going guy. But there are stressors and things like that. Deuce says, what about the stress, etc. That definitely, you know, sells it. I'm trying to catch up. I'm gonna see if it's on cigarettes or alcohol. I choose to smoke cigarettes, and yeah, Hassan, I agree with this here. And I think society and culture is really losing a grasp on Hassan's point here as well. He says, just like cigarettes or alcohol, if I choose to smoke cigarettes and end up getting cancer, well, ultimately, it's not the cigarette company's fault. But it goes, I think it goes back to what Junior was saying. It's not one side or the other was the point he had made. It's kind of both. But the cigarette companies, I will say that to use that as an example, they knew it was deadlier than they were putting out. So there's fault there. However, I agree a trillion percent with Hassan on I chose when I started smoking cigarettes in 1999, we already knew they were bad for you. I already knew. So he's right on that. You know, alcohol, alcohol, you could get drunk and piss yourself. As we said, you could fucking crash into a wall drunk. You could drink for 30 years and get cirrhosis of the liver, God forbid. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of people know these things that alcohol, cigarettes, any drug could lead to, and we still do them. So, but that's definitely, I think society's getting to a place with cancel culture where they want to blame, like Hassan said, it's not the cigarette company's fault. I think it's both parties' fault. But cancel culture would have you believe it's just the company's fault.
No, honestly, I feel like it's just a societal thing in general where it seems like I don't want to make it seem like I don't do it myself. Everyone does it. Or it seems like I don't know the proper wordage, but you know, taking the proper amount of blame of what happened on yourself properly because you just want to act like you had no part in it when you had almost all parts involved. Like I'll admit. Last year, when 2 years ago, like when I had to repeat 11th grade was simple because I didn't do any fucking work. I deserved to fail and have to redo it. I'll gladly admit I didn't do shit. I slept till 6 p.m. every day. I deserved it. I'm not like mad about it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm not mad at my teachers for failing me. I know I didn't do what the one thing they wanted me to do. And it was easy as shit to pass a couple years ago too. I don't know why I didn't.
Trying to catch up with some of you guys in the chat. Bear with us.
It's like saying eating McDonald's every day made you fat, and McDonald's should add healthy menu items. Maybe just stop eating McDonald's. It doesn't make sense for them to have to give a fuck about you getting fat. It seems like a you problem, bro.
Tommy, you don't think they had a choice in the beginning, though? Like the very first time, I believe they had a choice.
100%, it's all on you.
As someone I never did heroin, I never smoked crack, but I sniffed coke and I took Percocets and Oxys and I partied. Guess what? My choice.
Look,
first time they offered me coke, I was like, should I do it? I don't know. Should it? Like in my brain, and I said yeah. So even if 10 years later I would have became a crackhead, it had been on me because that first time I knew then what cocaine could lead to, and I still did it. So yeah, I do believe. But as I said, over time, it chips away at that, will to deny, the will to choose. So I do agree with you in that perspective. And DJ Science had just said it becomes safer once legalized. That's true in some aspects because you kill the black market, and that's
But
something big.
the black market for anything will just change to its new thing. The only reason the black market does
That's a
drugs
fact,
so
Sophie.
heavily is because when prohibition ended, they couldn't sell alcohol legally, so they just did drugs now. If drugs become legal, they'll find like guns or something. They'll just change it.
Salute, ladies of iTalk, Russian Princess. Make sure you guys check out iTalk if they only knew, and the ladies of iTalk. They got some great content.
But
I will say, I feel like in my mind, heroin dealers, I think that's preying on your neighborhood. I do. Other like heroin, crack, meth. Like to me, I always had in my mind they were the three I was not going to do. The big three: heroin, crack, and meth. You don't do them. Like I knew where I came from. You know what I mean? So, with that being, knowing that growing up already, those three to me are the most evil because you see what they do to communities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've seen heroin and crack in Kensington, and now you see up the mountains what the meth does to people. It's like those drugs murder people. Like, so that drug dealer, I believe, like you might not, especially if they don't know where their product's coming from. Like some guys know their product in and out.
Well,
but if someone doesn't,
you don't ask like the weed man. Oh yeah, where do you get this from?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to ask. It's against the etiquette.
No, what I'm saying that, but you're putting your faith into someone. So that drug dealer, you have that. You would have the faith that he knew his product, but a lot don't. They could have a bundle of fentanyl and think they have heroin, and you're dead. Wow. So there has to be levels of trust between people and things of that nature.
Well, circling back to what Monsieur D said a minute ago, with all due respect, if you're at a party, like I can get like party shit like Coke, like we see Coke, and it's like, oh, it's just Coke, might as well. But if someone rolls up to the party like, hey, everyone want to try black tar heroin? No one in there is gonna be like, oh fuck yeah, bro, bust it out, let's go. No one's gonna do that shit.
Oh, okay, I see you, Tommy. I didn't see that comment, so we're basically on the same page with that one. Then it's a better choice the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna send $10 from me to you. I guess you got it from grandma or something. So just let you know.
We're just trying to breeze through the chat, guys. Appreciate everybody responding. Appreciate everybody for trying to keep it civil.
All right, I have a question or two to ask
you. Sure.
Okay, it's mostly about your loving and adoring fans, so I'm sure we'll sacrifice many goats to you.
I don't like that word.
What?
Fans. Haley, salute. Yeah, I don't like fans.
Why?
I don't know. If I was in a band, maybe, or if I was like a literal artist, it might be different. But for what I do, I don't know. I
feel like there needs to be a level of detachment from, you and the people that watch your shit. I think there has to be some level of detachment.
There has to be some for sure. Because
then that's how you get obsessive motherfuckers trying to, like, I don't know, kill your cat or something.
Yeah, but not only that, you're not going to get a ton of organic growth if you're trying to, let's say, you do a news show. You know what I mean? And everybody, like, for instance, we build a community around ours. So now it's like, the way I take it is once I have an idea for content, like, all right, bet we're going to push this series right here. Once I have that idea, I know now I have this community that's going to support it, but I have to push it with that detachment you're speaking of. Like maybe not trying to bring in more people to the community. You're trying to grab those subs and on that kind of content.
So I guess circling back to what I was originally asking for that little side, whatever that just was. So your fans, your disciples who will probably sacrifice a goat in your image.
No.
I have
my acolyte.
Do you think that your viewers are at least smart or intelligent, or smarter than a fifth grader? I would hope.
Yeah.
What would they say? Are they smart and are they have some level of intelligence?
Yeah, I believe most people here would say.
Because I want to pose a question that I would need them to listen to the entire thing, and I wonder how they'll react. A paradox, right? Grandfather paradox, that kind of shit. It's a little more complicated than that, but you've probably heard a variant of it. It's called.
I'll break that down real quick before he starts. Put a pin. The grandfather paradox says, for example, Marty McFly. Doc tells Marty, "Don't fuck up nothing in 1955, or you'll fuck up 1985." That's the grandfather paradox. If you go back and kill your grandfather, you'll never be born. But if you're never born, you can't go back in time. But if you can't go back in time, hence the paradox. Don't let your mind blow, guys.
It's about to in a minute. So There's a real smaller scale version with Abe Lincoln, but I'll just use the bigger one because big people are here. So
you said Blinken.
It's called the Ship of Theseus paradox. Basically, say there's a ship, right? One of those old ones they had in like ancient Greece, right? And imagine one piece of wood on it is broken, they have to replace it, obviously. Over time, more pieces keep getting replaced until eventually the entire old ship is gone.
Yes, yes.
All the old pieces are gone,
But
now it's fully rebuilt. But there's more elaborateness with it. Say all those old pieces have been like refined, I guess, and now they're put back together for a new ship. So which is the true ship?
Oh, that's dope. Yeah,
the new pieces that have been accumulating over time are all the old scrap ones put back together.
Yeah,
I've
heard that before. That's actually a pretty cool thing. Yeah, I like paradoxes though, because it's like Einstein, all these great geniuses we've been taught about. That's what they did. They sat back and thought on like Einstein said, how come the moon doesn't come crashing into Earth? And that's how, he started to try to figure out, gravity and shit like that. But that is a hell of a paradox. If we keep repairing a boat with new pieces every time it's damaged, eventually that old boat, there's no pieces left. It's a new boat. Yeah. And if we build a ship with those other pieces, which boat is the old boat?
Or that's a good one. There's a much smaller scale one with Abe Lincoln's hatchet, where just imagine Abe Lincoln's chopping wood, and then like the metal axe part of the hatchet breaks and he gets replaced, and then the handle starts breaking, he gets that replaced. Is it still Abe Lincoln's axe if he got every piece of the original replaced?
That's a fact.
But what if all the broken pieces are put together for some reason? Is that the real hatchet, which is the true one?
I don't know if Mommy posted that earlier. Babe, let me know if you're posting that text now. You said
what are your adoring devotees thinking of?
No, they're listening to it now. But I wanted to, focus on a little more. We said conversations with the youth, and I'd like to focus in a little more of that. We're hitting on the 1 hour mark in 50 seconds. So we're gonna actually, let me see something here. I'm gonna drop the 1 minute intro song again, and when we come right back, I got a good question for Junior. From what generation are you?
Technically,
Gen Z. So they consider me a fucking millennial now. I hate that.
Millennial.
I think 1982 to 1984. I think the millennials should start after when Michael Jackson did the moonwalk, 1984.
Millennials are from anyone. Usually it's from 83 to 2000.
Disgusting.
That's the usual.
Hitting the hour mark, y'all. Taking a 1 minute tease. Let's go. Jump. Linda, 215. Let's go. Hey, all right, guys, we're back. We were just resetting the room, as they say. The hip kids. Speaking of the hip kids, we wanted to have a conversation with the youth, as the title would say. Barn, I did see you ask about the link. I will drop it in a little bit there. But I wanted to ask Junior, guys, what you think of your fellow generation first. What do you? I want to ask you about a few, like your perception of your generation, the Mayan, your generation are my parents. But what do you think about what is Junior Cheese Curl Poppy? What is Cheese Curl Poppy's opinion on his and the generation after, which would be again Gen Z and what
Gen Alpha.
Alpha
I
is
think,
it?
yeah, that started
Kids
in
after
2020.
2020. Okay.
Yeah, it's about every 20
So
years.
we're
or so is a
saying
generation.
2003 to 2023. What do you think that
Well,
20-year span?
I would say my generation compared to yours,
Comparison.
contrary to what everyone thinks, there's not that many differences between a millennial and a zillennial, Zoomer, whatever nickname you want to give a Gen Z or whatever.
So you're saying there's not much difference
There
between
are-
someone born from 77
Well,
straight up.
yeah, from someone born in the 70s versus someone born in 2005, there will be a lot of difference. But someone born in, like, say, 1995, who is a millennial, versus someone who's born in 2000, who's past the deadline of being a millennial, are only 5 years apart, meaning they experienced the exact same shit.
That's why I always thought
So,
the millennial title
I'm
was
an
weird.
early Gen Z. I was born very early on in the generation, and like someone who's say born in 1998 or 99, I was born in 03. We would have watched like the same shows on
You're around the same age.
Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
Cartoon Network. Meaning they're a millennial, and you're not that much older than them, and you've probably seen the same shit they were watching, and it keeps looping around.
I was their older brother, and
Exactly.
you were like their brother's younger, their little brother's friend's age, but they would bump us into. That's what I never understood. It's like, why would I be considered a millennial born in the 80s?
But then again, at the same time, I'm in the same generation as, like, say, Peyton and little Bobby. That's the same thing. I don't think I should be, but I am.
Yeah.
Because it's 20 years time. That's a generation.
So other than you thinking there's not a ton of differences, what are some differences?
Well, for one,
do you think maybe we'll just compare first, of course. We'll go, 2000s to 80s.
I would say one difference between us and boomers is there isn't lead in our gasoline.
Well, baby boomers, you're talking about like our grandparents. Actually, the real baby boomers are older than our parents. They're between our
They were born in the late 40s, early 50s. They were born after World War II, the baby boomers.
Yeah, they're like when our grandparents were teenagers.
Boomers are overrated. I would love to learn more about the silent generation, their parents, who right after World War I, roaring 20s, and then they got really fucked up.
I've always said that. I've always felt like
they're the real sufferers.
I always felt like there are hours of World War II footage.
Oh no, wait!
But World War I isn't documented.
It's the silent generation are the people who were born before World War I, and then between World War I and the Depression is the lost generation. They didn't really talk about it a whole lot. They didn't document themselves.
Yeah, and then you had the boomers. Boomers were after World War II.
Yeah, because they had their
and then the love generation,
and then it's Gen X, which is like 60s, 70s people, and then you, millennial, and then Zoomer, me, and then
Alpha. Gen X. You forgot Y though.
The Y didn't exist.
Gen Y is the 90s.
My 90s are millennials.
X was 70s, 80s is what it used to be. They've changed it then.
No, it went. Because why
would I don't understand why? So if I was born in 83, but if I was born in 1980, it's missing the peg. If I was born in 1980, that means I turned 20 years old when the millennium started.
Yes.
Why would I be a millennial? I'm 20 years old
because you were born.
I've already missed the complete.
You were born hovering around the millennium.
Yeah, starting. That's why I'm saying.
We're born post millennium.
Why I'm saying the list is.
And it just goes. It goes by 20 years usually, because sometimes they're like boomers are an exception because they don't go from 1940 to 50 because they were started in like 46 after World War II. So they're from like 46 to like say 56, maybe something
60.
like that. Then. In between each generation, there's always going to be like a buffer years that are like, say if a generation ends in like 58, then like from 59 to 60, it's like a buffer time. Either or if you want.
That's kind of where 83 was on the millennial list. We were being called Gen Y.
Because to be honest, if you're born in 2000, you can call yourself a millennial, and you can be considered right. It's honestly, I feel like with the generational shit, it really doesn't fucking matter. That's where
I always felt the list was flawed in that sense, though. Because you were born in 2003, 3 years into the millennium. Yeah. You are like 2000, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10. That's what I would consider a millennial, even up to 2020, I guess. then 2020 we would have had to come up with a new age. That's what I would say. But you know what I mean? It's a flawed list. But back to the topic at hand. Yes, definitely. Can we get some prayers up for Florida? Anyone being affected? I seen Fort Myers was fucking devastated. Prayers up to everybody dealing with that for sure. But Dio True, salute. I see he said I'm Gen X. Yeah, I always felt those lists were flawed by the way they do that. So again, what do you feel, back to the question, what do you feel about your fellow generation? Do you feel they're more sensitive, that they get the reputation that they're more sensitive than past generations?
I would say on average, obviously there are outliers and everything. They're the 1 out of 9 dentists who don't approve of the toothpaste in the commercials.
Yeah.
But obviously, I feel like my generation's more accepting of people than yours was. Obviously, millennial is when being gay started as a thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
my generation
mine was just like welcome it with open fucking arms, basically.
My generation was accepting, but there was still
yours was letting a gay guy in secretly. Ours was letting them in with a big hug.
There was still bigotry. Kids these days, they'll have the most diverse group ever.
If you call someone, basically when you were a kid, if you called someone, the gay slur, everyone would be like, hoorah! Now if you call someone a gay slur, like, bro, what the fuck? It's the same as saying the N-word. It's like, bro, what the fuck?
Junior looks mostly like me. He looks a little like Kelly's brother, but he looks
a little sexier, though. Don't let him throw you off.
He likes to stay mysterious for his YouTube.
But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. I feel like, obviously,
but you're also in the information age.
But
we were born before it. We grew up in it.
Yeah,
you guys
millennials, you crispy old fucks are going to be the last generation to be born before knowing the internet. You're the last one to know a world without it.
That's why I feel it should be, like, I always joke, but as we become, since the 80s, we become clearly more pop culture driven. Mm-hmm. That's why I think Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk was 1984. That was like a groundbreaking moment. That should be a cutoff, I think, because from 76 was the bicentennial. So we'll say from 77 up until 84, 85, people were different than the people who were born 70 to 77 and 85 to 90.
Honestly, I feel like the whole generational,
we had rotary phones.
I feel like when categorize generations mostly boils down to being obviously specific and also kind of like a historian thing. We love to categorize shit. But in the grand scheme of everything, it doesn't really matter if someone was born 20 years before you. It doesn't make them smarter or any better than you, really. It just means they're older than you. Just because you're old doesn't mean you're intelligent or wise.
Now, I seen DSL said today's civilization is a bunch of pansies. So that is a reputation. Disagree. That's a reputation your generation does get. Now, I wanted to say, do you think that is that cancel culture? We're upset you made a gay joke in the 90s, and things of that form of cancel culture.
Well,
do you think that's just a vocal minority?
Yes.
Yeah. You think
100%. Yes. The internet is two things about it. Like you said, it's a vocal minority who start picking up steam, and they turn into we have more numbers route, which means that they in their head they think that means we're right because more people agree with us. But then also with Gen Z saying dumb shit online, like making TikToks or Instagram posts that are really stupid. It's simple because I want everyone in the chat, and obviously you yourself, to be honest. Everyone can admit when you're a kid, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, everybody said dumb shit when they're a kid.
Exactly. How would you feel that if you're 10 years old, when you're a 10-year-old, you're dumb as fuck? You can just say whatever you want on the internet for the world to see, and now that would shape how people view everyone your age.
Let me say this. Do you think it's heavily influenced, meaning that generation is that vocal minority because you have that group of people that are like, yo, everything I've ever done is online. So if I find something of you motherfuckers, because you weren't always on, if I find something, then I'll get you. Well, I think cancel culture started just like everything any fucking more. It starts in a great place.
Well,
cancel culture started, everyone thinks Jeffrey Epstein, but no, it was Harvey Weinstein.
Well, you know what the old saying goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
That's a fact.
So cancel culture, what I feel like happens is it boils down to one of two things. People want to feel like they're a part of something, like they don't have a lot of meaning in life, so they want to feel like, oh yeah, I helped take down the guy who drew too many big titties on Cartoon Network. I'm that guy. Or they want to feel like, not that they're a part of something, but they're fucking bored.
The participation trophy.
I can personally admit it, and obviously there are many trolls who are madly in love with you and want to see your
I don't have a
penis.
ton of trolls.
But,
yeah.
like I said,
DSL's a troll, but he's not
like
trolling.
I said, all your
So
trolls who are
keep
madly
it up.
in love with you and want to see your penis,
They're not here
they
right
just
now.
do it because they're bored. And obviously, I can even say it like this. I would go on one of my friends' live streams and just fuck with them because I'm kind of bored. Like, I'm not like saying death threats like some of these fucking incels with shrivel dicks. But no, it's like fucking, I'm bored. Let me just try and get them angry because I think it'll be kind of funny. That's kind of just it. They're just fucking bored.
Haley
You see 80 people are trying to cancel, I don't fucking know, Chris Pratt, and you're like, all right, fuck it. I don't like him anyway. Get rid
That's
of him.
what happens. So Haley says, what does Junior think about social media growing up? Purely because we didn't have like all that pressure growing. Our generation didn't have that amount of pressure. As I've spoken on the show a few times, bullying changed from my generation to yours because you left your bully at school we left our bully at school on Friday unless he lived it by us.
Most of my bullies tend to live
But I'm saying your bully kid, your generation, kids are getting bullied on Instagram, Snapchat the entire week.
Honestly, I feel like getting bullied online is a little easier to get rid of because you can always just turn the phone
But
off.
that's
and
hard
it
for
ends.
people. That's hard for people because we live in a day where there's a lot of people.
And a lot in
it's
your life,
attached to their
it's
hand.
kind of like you kind of need it to have
Yeah.
a social life to begin with at
Mhm,
this point because
mhm.
just like being off the grid entirely, it's very hard to contact you. To be honest, you got to go fucking like send a pigeon.
When I was a
pigeon to
kid,
go looking for you.
So that is a difference. When I was a kid,
You have to go walk down the street and knock on his door.
You had
I
to
did
knock
that
on the
too.
door?
I didn't get a phone that fucking worked till I was 13. I
Well,
did the same shit. as you.
because me and your mom had our idea of when a kid should get a phone, you know.
And I never really even asked for one. It was given to me. I never really asked for one, but having going down knocking on people's doors. And everyone did everyone did their own Helen Street. All the kids would knock on our door. I go knock on
Well, that's
theirs.
shit. You would use your rotary phone and say, "Hey, Mrs. Johnson, is Johnny home? Johnny Johnson." Johnson, yeah. And she'd be like, "No, he's not here." And you know what you did then? Took your motherfucking ass looking, Jack. If you wanted to fucking hang out with that person, meet up with that girl, whatever the case, you took your ass walking and looking for them. All right, we usually go here, 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 and here. Let me go check them places. Then you find them. Yo, I called, whatever. But other times you'd call, yeah, they're right here. All right.
Although I feel like it's also a blessing in one aspect. Because say if someone you can't find them, obviously, and back in your time, be like, well, the kid's missing. So it's a fucking gamble if we're going to find them. Now, if that kid goes missing and they're like 10 but have a phone, you can just call them because they have their phone number.
Track my iPhone.
And also find my iPhone.
Yeah.
Snapchat also has Snapchat. People can see you there too.
Salute ladies at iTalk Bori. Once again, guys, check out ladies at iTalk and iTalk if they only knew. They got some great content.
Having social media at a very young age is both useful and can be detrimental, but then again, that's everything in society in general is both a blessing and a curse. Because don't get it wrong, there are cons to having everything in instant gratification. I think is the word.
Yeah.
Having it all immediately with you, but benefits are information's easier to spread. Boredom is very rare because you don't need to wait for something good to come on TV. I could just load up Disney Plus and watch anything I want. Or
that's
HBO,
actually
YouTube.
Something I realized.
Also, having porn instantly is a blessing.
Well, that changed definitely. My generation,
I feel like that's the one thing all generations can agree has been a blessing.
You had to have a friend give you a dirty magazine, and you had to lend that, borrow it, get it from somewhere, steal it from your dad.
Ask them why page 65 is stuck to 66.
But nowadays kids have way easier access. But yeah, you're right. Information spreads quicker.
I feel like your generation was also a lot more okay with a kid showing you a titty, hey, look at this, shows you a magazine. Now if someone goes up to me and says, look at this, it shows me someone's titty, I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, you're desensitized to the nudity and things of that nature. Yeah, that's what people were saying in the 90s when shows like Married with Children were coming out, Roseanne, and people are like, yeah, these shows are funny for adults, but what are the youth getting out of it? And that's why you had that. That's when cancel culture really started. That's when you got the parental advisory.
That was in the 80s.
But that's what I think these are trends. Around. Yeah, they always come back around.
It's always been a thing.
So,
before it used to be conconservative Christian types. Now it's people who haven't seen Jesus once.
I have a question from a viewer. I'm not sure if you ever met her. Her name's Queen Kellz. Might not have met her, even though you came out of her body. Your mom says, as a youth, How do you feel about all the violence we're seeing from the youth today? You're seeing a lot of, especially in Philly, you're seeing a lot of,
Well,
you know,
it isn't a special trait for people of my age to be overly aggressive sometimes because, you know, your generation did a lot of rioting in the 90s and such.
Someone said, I remember waiting 30 minutes for a whole movie to rewind. That's a fact. They used to make rewinders so you could put in like another movie and rewind that one. Thank God. I mean, it closed Blockbuster up, but thank God we ain't doing that.
Physical porn stores.
Our street lights was how we knew to go home. That's a fact.
That's how I did it too.
I know Kenny's going to be coming on.
But honestly, yeah.
This freaking cat's a knucklehead.
My generation being like we're overly violent because violence is just a thing that young people do. It's because, you know, dudes are in puberty getting hit with mad testosterone. Why do you think football players are mostly in high school? Why do you think they love sports in high school? Because it's
I'll tell you,
who are just now getting hit
I
with
speak on
testosterone.
I speak on this often, but I think the news constantly posting these things like murder in North Philly, murder in North Philly, like now someone that might have, you know, people are going to try to glorify that. Oh, we're gangster. We got to shoot at everybody. The news is telling me I'm gangster. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think people, but I do agree a younger man is going to be more aggressive than, you know, and it's crazier now with the information age. But back in the day, if there was a shooting in Ohio, you'd hear about it at the end of the news. They'd go through all your local news, not at the end. It would be in there, but if something happened in your city that they consider bigger, you'd hear about that first. Nowadays,
local news
we know national news in minutes. When Buffalo happened, people were online commenting about that in minutes.
Unfortunately, making memes about it in under a few.
I think that's what it is. People that make me like sick. I think there's a time and a place. Like, I don't think you need to be making jokes about shootings when they happen.
I'll admit, it is mostly just like because
your
generation had edgy teenagers.
Yeah.
Like I said,
salute
trying to find their place, trying to seem funny, but they don't actually have a sense of humor. So they say, "Shocking, that's funny." It's also the same kind of idea where people just get that just like loud equals funny. Saying something but louder doesn't really make it more funny. It makes it more annoying, if anything.
That's fact.
If you have to be loud to be funny, I don't think what you're saying is all that funny. Suddenly shocking somebody isn't really all that funny.
Make sure you guys are hitting that like button for me. As I said in the beginning, Murph at 420 on Fridays. We usually smoke and vibe out with music. This week we're having a conversation with the youth, episode 2. We did one a few months back. Definitely. I miss the nostalgia of Blockbuster, Dio. Like, my son's like, I don't know if I'd want to. And I'm like, no, it was so cool, though. Like, because we didn't have all that shit. You gotta remember. So when your parents, on a Friday night, your parents are like, yo, how about I order a pizza and we go to Blockbuster? That was a come up. That's like when I used to say, let's go out to eat and go to the movies. You know what I mean? We used to be like, bet you go there and you're going to get, let's say, Aladdin. I can recall that night. You know, we had one of the best nights of my fucking life. We rented Aladdin and I can't remember what else, but it was fucking fire. Those nights were great. Frank Beans. Yeah, I know. My kids have iPhones. I don't have an iPhone. I don't think you need an iPhone. But Blockbusters were the best, man. That was fun. I do miss some stuff. I miss the level of privacy we had. In the 80s, people were they were proud to be American, and people would defend their rights as American. You'd see someone yell at a cop, I don't give a fuck what you're here for. Get off my property.
Although,
but
as Americans, our privacy getting taken away, it didn't start with us. It started with your generation, the Patriot Act 2001. That started with you, motherfucker.
I was only fucking 18 at the time. Not even, 18. But, that's crazy.
Exactly. And, the government's always been kind of like
Lil
keeping
sis.
an eye on you.
Salute, Lil Sis. Jen, subscribe to Jen and Zeke, guys. Guys, drop your links.
But, like, what people would say, my generation's more desensitized to things. I don't really think we are. I think what happens is it's mostly the.
No, I think you're definitely desensitized.
Maybe
if my generation, the way movie graphics are today, you're definitely desensitized.
Hold on.
Because listen, you watch movies from the 80s and you laugh, literally laugh. But when we were seeing them, that shit was so realistic.
Yeah, but you also have to think you were a kid when you seen that. When you were a kid, you can literally watch some little
a shadow can make you think
exactly.
Yeah.
So when you're a little kid, you're perceiving it different than
For sure.
But now that you're older, you watch it again and realize,
oh
holy
God.
shit, this looks terrible.
Yeah, but like let's say gore.
Mm-hmm.
The gore, the genre of movies known as gore, or revenge movies, where they like Quentin Tarantino got chopping off arms, blood squirt. Like those types of things have desensitized your generation to real murder.
I don't believe it though.
Kids can bash in someone's head easier because they've seen what it looked like.
Yeah, maybe they know what to expect if it happens, but I would still say if I'm out with people my age and one of us gets shot in the fucking head, we're all gonna freak the fuck out and run.
But we're not gonna be like, eh. Yeah, I think a lot of shit has happened. Like you can't. The kids nowadays, they're like, oh, all this. What do kids have to do? They got rid of the pool halls. They got rid of in Philly. I'm giving you an example. Most of the pool halls are gone. They closed half the libraries. There's not, some kids join PAL, which is like the police league, but with the police athletic league, which is like big brother, little sister, but with the Philadelphia police. But with the rhetoric around hating the police, what kid is going to want to join something associated with the police?
Especially since it's mostly impoverished kids who would join that. They live near gangs anyway, and they'll notice that you're near cops all the time.
Coco, Victor Coco.
And I feel like it's also, like you said, the news, our great enemy, the news. Also, like, pushing, like, it didn't start with us. It started with you guys, the 80s, but, like, movies and games being violent. Yeah. I feel like the problem is they look past, like, in a movie. I'll use a movie for an example. Or a game. It doesn't really matter because it's both for transcendent for both. Say if a movie has like a scene that is really gory or violent, they'll focus on that one bit of the movie. Meanwhile, that's not even what the movie's focused on. It's like the movie is needs that horrific scene to convey its message. Mm-hmm. Like if it's a war movie, but you don't see a motherfucker die, there's no like feeling behind it. But if you're watching a war movie and a guy gets blown up by an artillery shell, you realize, holy shit, war sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes you need that shit to scare people.
But I'm saying then when you see these things in real life, like me seeing mobster movies desensitized me that when I did see someone get hit with a bat, it wasn't as scary as I would think it would have been.
But, I feel like if you watch a war movie and someone gets blown up by a mortar and then you like in real life see someone get blown up by a mortar, you're still going to freak the fuck out. But it's not, I feel like it's unequal comparisons here, Obviously, I've seen in a movie someone get hit by a car a million times. I've seen two people get hit by a car in front of me, and I still fucking remember perfect detail.
Because you have that feeling it's a human. You're there. You know what it hurts.
Not just that. It's everybody that I know would feel that. Yeah. It's the same. You can watch someone stub their toe a million times and be like, ugh. Or do get hit in the balls a million times and still like go and feel your own balls because that shit fucking hurts.
Yeah, but we still laugh.
Yeah, because it's funny. Like.
Guys, we're going to be wrapping it up in a few minutes. I know Kenny's coming on soon. A few other people. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I definitely want to thank Junior. Episode 2, A Conversation with the Youth. We'll do another one in another month or two. We like having these to just to have these combos with everybody. And like I said, I feel like some, if they lost their faith towards that generation, sometimes they regain it through shows like these. Like
I would never give up on a whole group of people because like that kind of seems like, I don't want to say racist because we're not a race of people, but it's a similar ballpark. Prejudice against a whole group as a whole. That's kind of a no-no. Mm-hmm. Judge people as individuals, not as a group.
Well, that's what happens. It gets lumped in. If someone's a Republican, all of a sudden they're this crazy racist who hates
millennials.
If you're on the left, you're a snowflake who wants to.
Millennials have this
run wild.
Millennials have the stereotype of being depressed alcoholics who bitch and moan all the time, but you're not all that. Mm-hmm.
Mark Zuckerberg, a billionaire.
We have the reputation of being soft pussies, but I can tell you, maybe it's because we live here. I can't tell how many people live here that when Black Lives Matter was saying, they're like saying Black lives don't matter, that kind of shit. So clearly, people my age, maybe it's because they're raised by their conservative parents, but it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. And if you were to complain that Gen Z are snowflakes, you can only blame yourselves because our parents are millennials. You raised us to be like this. It's on your part too.
Well, as you said, your generation was always more accepting, so that comes a lot.
Exactly, because of the millennials started the acceptance shit, and we take it further.
Oh yeah,
and Gen Alpha is going to be even more accepting, and it'll keep fucking going until it horseshoes to where we're not accepting anymore, and it keeps going.
The participation trophy generation.
That was. You motherfucker.
No, that was actually like our parents that like started that. It was
And think
us
about
that
it.
it was being done for, but like I was a little older than the part when I was
That's
a
a good
kid.
one.
When I was a kid, you won awards. You were first, you were second. There were no. You lost, you fucking lost. You cried and you went out for pizza. That's what you did on when you were 10 on a t-ball or a baseball team. Do you know what I mean? It's so.
And if you're in the NFL,
now,
you get paid $1 million.
Yeah, nowadays it's like, oh, you guys came in 1.5. You're not, no. Second is the first loser. But I'm gonna go through a few more comments. We'll go through a few more comments here. Which party is depressed weed heads? Yeah, I don't think there is any of them, Zeke. We're in the center.
But looking at the generation,
Linda says your son has a good head on his shoulders. Salute Murph and Kellz. Haley says it's great to get the younger generation, the younger opinion.
Like, you want to know why like the boomers have grown to be really more kind of like feel entitled to everything and like they run the show and everything?
Nat said, Kellz, I left him a comment recently asking him to do another show with Murph. Nat asked you to do that.
But like
we appreciate you, Nat.
Like I was saying, the boomers were raised by their parents right after World War II, and their parents had seen the horrors of war and like the shitty life that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to raise their kids in a better environment. The economy was booming. Then the boomers had the next generation, which then the economy kind of started to slump, and that's kind of like Gen X is a little more hardened than millennials are. But at the same time, not quite.
Just to put a nice, pretty bow on the entire topic here, Bane. We both love System of a Down. I said the down. I sounded like I was European for a second. Put your hand together for System of the Down.
The news in the late 90s.
You know what I hate when people call them the Fallout Boys, and I'm like, no.
You heard of them Fallout Boys? I'm going with my
2 Chainz said it. 2 Chainz like the Fallout Boys. I was like, that's not their name. It's a Simpsons reference. Damn it. But like I said, just to put a bow on it, System, brings up after the civil rights movement, drugs became conveniently available for all the kids. So it is something to think on. You look at that and you're like, okay, so the 60s is when free love generation. That's kind of when the divide started. It's when conservative, you started seeing more liberal people. That's when the civil rights era, everything, you know what I mean? Everyone was trying to get their rights that they truly deserved, of course. But it's like that. I always love that line by System because it is so true. It's like you would think there's a system in place that is steering things this way.
You got the civil rights movement, which was pretty much treat everyone equally. Race shouldn't matter. And then when Vietnam started happening, Vietnam was going on since the fucking late 50s, but it was coming to a close because it was getting really heated and it was on TV more. And now the new generation who grew up under the new foundations of treat every race equally, seem we're just shooting Asian people just because they kind of want to, and that's why anti-war started happening. Plus, it was against what their parents were saying. Their parents were okay with the war; they wanted to go against.
Well, a lot of people are anti-war today. Stop bombing third world countries when you're a power.
Like I was saying, and then the Gen X grew up with the no war kind of thing, and then like they also were usually raised pretty stiffly by boomers too, punishment-wise, so they were a little softer.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, all of us here, myself, yourself, we were all born under war. You were born literally.
America's only 200 some years old, and we've been at war for 200 years of that time.
Yeah. You were literally born the
60 years of peace.
You were literally born the year Iraq started again, 2003.
Yeah.
And in the 80s, we were in the Cold War, just getting over
for 20 years. Went there in 2001, and then we went left in 21.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had Desert Storm in the 90s, but that was Saddam Hussein.
And Desert Shield, too, was also a little earlier.
Iraqi freedom, all them crazy jumps.
But, and then obviously millennials, after the, Gen Xers who are a little more seasoned or grizzled, I guess, raised you a little too stiff, and then you raised Gen Zers who will be, oh, yeah, don't be mean to people.
Salute Ladies of iTalk. Once again, guys, subscribe to Ladies of iTalk and iTalk if they only knew. Salute to all y'all ladies for popping up and saying hello today. That's awesome. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody vibing out. Another conversation with Junior. Once again, we'll have another one of these very soon. Sir, handshake. I thank you for coming on. Great conversation. Thank you for that, Coco. We want to give a big rest in peace to Coolio. Rapper Coolio passed away this week. I played recently a cover of Gangsta's Paradise. Coolio's in the video. It's a metal band. That guy, you know, Ronnie Rack, he had tweeted about it as well. Very impactful artist. You know, he only had a few hits, but very impactful artist. So, you know, tragic to see him go. But like I said, guys, Kenny Cutthroat is coming on 6 p.m., I believe. So 7 minutes. We're going to run the theme song on the way out, same as we did on the way in. And I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow night. Got to talk to Barnes still for Two Bad Opinions with ATG Barn. If not, I'll see you guys Thursday for Cooking with Kellz, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then right here, Murph at 4:20 p.m. Eastern. Next week, we're going to have a music show again, and it's going to be a good one. So before we play our little outro music, I got to show some love to my brother Frank White, who was in here earlier, Frankie Blanco. We want to give a big salute and a big shot at all the haters.
Hey, City Island. Y'all niggas know who it is. Spaced out music. Hey, let's go. Touch. Go. Hear him talking. Let him hate. I'm on my grind. I'm feeling great. This is something different. This is paper chase. Those trying to stop it, shut us in the grate. I hear these niggas hating. Damn. But I don't see him. They wanna live my life, man, I'm just saying. Whoa. They wanna be him. Who's that peeking in my window? Who are you? They tryna copy my style, so I gotta smoke these niggas like it's Indo. Yeah. They go about it with a smile. They hate the man, but I don't give a fuck. Niggas. Spaced out music, 5 niggas in the truck, boy. I got the 9 and they ain't even tucked. Shit ain't tucked, nigga. Pull it out, air it out, everybody duck down. Now I'm about to stay within your lane.
In your
I do
lane.
this for my fam, I ain't out here playing games. What you thought I did this shit to entertain?
Lights up,
I
lights
get
up.
it like a coke, boy. Got these niggas hating on me. I hear these niggas hating. Damn. But I don't see him. They wanna live my life, man, I'm just saying. Whoa. They wanna be him. Who's that peeking in my window? Who are you? They tryna copy my style, so I gotta smoke these niggas like it's Indo. Yeah. Then go about it with a smile.
We run the streets, something like a marathon. Marijuana, heroin, Gucci bag carry-on. Shooter with a nasty shot, call him Sean Marion. Rap games, Barry born leader Farrakhan. Riding like the brakes broke, haters better take notes. Peeking in my window is how you get your chin broke. It's in touch, niggas hating on the name. I don't waste time on them, I just let the hook explain. Listen up.
I hear these niggas hating. Damn. But I don't see him. They wanna live my life, man, I'm just saying. Whoa. They wanna be him. Who's that peeking in my window? Who are you? They tryna copy my style, so I gotta smoke these niggas like it's Indo. Yeah. Then go about it with a smile.
Yo, what up, guys? So we're watching Sopranos, right? And I never noticed, but peep the lady walking behind them. Watch the brunette lady. Whoa! Watch that first step. It's a doozy. Peace.